So a big key with a Shad Rap is reeling that bait slow. So if you look at the bill on it, it almost has like a medium to deep diving size bill on it. But once you get it down to the depth you want it at, and you can get this bait fairly deep, I really slow it down. I'm just using my rod to move that bait. And you'll feel it once you get it going. It has a lot of pull. So it's not a bait that you're going to get down and reel super fast anyways, because of how much pull it has. So when you get that bait down near the rocks, down near that gravel, down into that clay, then you just really slow it down and let it do what it's supposed to do. And I do that with all crankbaits, you know, even when I'm deep cranking in the summer and you're burning that bait, reeling it super fast. When I get it into those special strike zone type, high percentage type places like that rock that I know they're all sitting on, then I'm just using my rod. I'm just kind of pulling it. "51-degree water today, so this is a slow. You want it to be moving just a tad bit faster than your jig. And I've had a couple of jig bites today, and they just didn't commit to it with as cold as this water is. So get that bait down where you want it. You can get it down deep. You know, as deep as I like to fish this time of year, it has no problem getting down there. And then when you get it down there, fish it about as slow as you possibly can. That's where those suspend strips, there it is. 51-degree water. That's a big one. Oh, stay out of those rocks. Stay out of those rocks. 10-pound test. About as old school as it gets. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, man. Oh, baby. Oh, there we go. That is a nice one. Look at that. On the Shad Rap, number 7, crawdad. That's a nice one right there. That's what we're fishing for. 51-degree water. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities, especially ones like that. That is a great big one. Finesse, as finesse as it gets. I'm going to get this fish back in the water. Man, that's a bite. Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all for hanging with me on this Thursday. So I had a few questions about my setup for throwing the Shad Rap. Now, a Shad Rap is a place where I'm going to throw in open water most of the time. Now, it's not going to be something that I'm reeling around laydowns or fishing in stumpy type areas. It's more so a finesse technique that I'm not putting around heavy cover. So a spinning rod is going to be plenty of torque to get those fish to the boat, and it's cold. This is a cold water whole situation when it comes to this technique. I'm not going to ever really use this once that water gets into the low to mid 50s. This is strictly freezing, ice on my guides, and that's why I'm going to always throw this on some type of nylon line. So I use monofilament. I like the big game, the green kind. I feel like it has a little bit less stretch than the clear. That could be something in my head. And 10-pound test. You can go down to 8, you can go down to 6. I'm throwing the number 7 and the number 8 today, so it's a bigger Shad Rap. I like to go up to as big of line as I can in any situation. This situation, 10-pound mono. So I think that has the diameter of 12-pound fluorocarbon. So one of my favorite sizes of line to crank. Your normal 2000 spinning rod and a 6'6" or a 7-foot medium action spinning rod. So that's going to be it for me. Always spinning tackle, and I'm trying to get the wind to my back. Like most times when I'm cranking, if there's a situation where I can fish with wind to my back, that's going to help you a lot. Long cast with the Shad Rap is probably the most important thing to get this bait to get down to the depth you want it to get to, and then also when it's down there, you can fish it slow. So it's not always going to be out in 8 feet of water. You might need to get this bait down to the bottom in 3 feet and then just barely turn your handle. So again, cold water, ice in the guides. I don't use micro guides when I'm using this technique. I need a little bit bigger guides because they're going to freeze up. I'm going to be throwing this on days when it's below 32 degrees. Monofilament. Fluorocarbon, especially lighter fluorocarbon, when you have freezing temperatures, it is a pain. You're just going to throw a lot of baits off. So even though this bait floats, I don't want to be fooling with that. The benefits of fluorocarbon are not going to outweigh the problems that it's going to give you. So in cold weather, it's always monofilament. And this is one of those techniques where I'm strictly throwing it when it's freezing out. So I'm going to put some gloves on. I'm typically always going to be fishing this with gloves, and you're just going to try to throw it as far as you can and wind it. It's not really that big of a special technique. This is probably the only thing that's going to work because the fish aren't really doing anything. You need to put something in front of them that vibrates and moves, that you can also fish super slow, keep it in the perfect depth range while barely turning your reel handle. So try that, guys. In these colder months, this setup should get you a few more bites and help you learn this technique a little bit quicker. And here's my bait, just a crawdad number 7 Shad Rap. So about as big as you can get nowadays. You can find an 8. An 8's a really good size, but this is one of those baits that when that water's cold, you can't get them to do anything else. If you have somewhat of crankbait conditions like low light or some wind, they'll bite it even when the water's cold. So try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.